In this episode, I thought it would be fun if I scrounged around the laundry room and see what 90s action figures I could come up with. I was quite surprised to see how many I've accumulated over the years. And I thought, let's take a look at 5 random ones. So, stick around. Hello, fellow dorks and dorkettes, and welcome to It Came From My Side of the Laundry Room. My name is Rob, and in this episode, we will be taking a look at 5 random 90s action figures that I have found here in the laundry room. Now, a while ago, and I mean many years ago, I did an unboxing video of some 90s action figures, mostly Wildcats figures, Big Guy and Rusty, things like that. So, I had to stay away from those, and I thought, how many more do I actually have? Well, I was quite surprised because it seems like I have picked up a few over the years because I definitely wasn't buying them in the 90s. So, yeah, just random ones that I picked up here and there that I thought were pretty cool. Now, like I said, I just grabbed random ones, and yeah, I was quite surprised to see how many I have. So, look forward to more of these in the future, possibly. Anyway, without further ado, let's head over here and take a look at 5 random 90s action figures. Our first figure is Max, from the comic book The Max. Now, this was released as part of the Spawn toy line, their 4th series, and it was released by McFarlane Toys in 1996. Now, I have to admit, everywhere that I've ever displayed toys, different homes and stuff like that, I always display this Max figure. I absolutely love it. I was a huge fan of the comic book, watched the cartoon on MTV. Yeah, was a huge fan. So you can see he's got a little dust probably from many decades of sitting around. But yeah, I've just always been a fan of this figure. Now granted, it's not super posable, but for the character it didn't need to be. So he like leaps in, I mean, has his clawed hands, his very cool face sculpt here, and he came with a headdress for like when he was in the Dreamtime like Outback sections. I do have it, I just couldn't find it before filming this. I know it's in my accessories storage, but I just couldn't find it beforehand. And I've lost the Is many years ago. I can't even remember the last time I saw it. And I had the white Is. I didn't have like the rare black one or the one that came with multiples or anything like that. Look at that, that's pretty. He can lean back like that. But, yeah, in the 90s, I was collecting mostly comic toys because I think the 90s was like my biggest comic collecting era. Not just reading them, but actually collecting them and bagging them and boarding them and all that stupid stuff. So I was more into comic book toys then. So, yeah, This was one of those ones that was hard to track down. I had a buddy that like camped out at Caldor early in the morning for when they restocked the shelves, and he was able to get it for me. So yeah, McFarlane toys were like really collectible and really scarce and rare back in the day. I mean, that Wetworks werewolf was a chore to find, but I finally did. But anyway, let's get to our second random 90s action figure. Our second action figure is Ryan Steele from VR Troopers. This was released by Kenner in 1994. And to say it was released by Kenner, I think it was more that they just were selling the Japanese toys here in America. Because this type of figure structure reminds me so much of like the Ultraman figures that I have. I mean, same type of body stockiness in the shoulders and all, and just the lack of posability. But unfortunately, I don't have any of the guns that he came with. He came with VR pistols. And honestly, I think I picked this up at a yard sale a few years ago just because I kind of liked it. And yeah, it reminds me of something that would have been released by Bandai. Now, one of the things, and I don't know if the light here picks it up, but he's got this window here in his head that allows light to go through and makes his eyes shiny. Sorry, I just noticed I have dirty nails. Outside putting up Christmas lights. But yeah, I mean, one of the reasons I got this was, like I said, it reminded me of a Bandai action figure. And I'm a big fan of Bandai figures. But he has a problem with standing. I don't know if that's just from some sort of abuse he got from his previous owner or what. Looks kind of lumbering when you do it like that. Excuse me. I do remember watching the show. I mean, I was a huge fan of Power Rangers when it came out. I think I was a senior in high school when it came out, so I watched it, and I pretty much told everyone they were idiots for not watching it because it was, you know, an import from Japan, and I had to be so, like, intellectual. And, I mean, they fought kaiju. I was down with that. But anyway, I remember watching VR Troopers, and, I mean, it wasn't hateful. There's worse out there. But anyway, I mean, don't have much to offer. So we're going to go to the third figure. Our third figure is Hudson from Gargoyles, the first series that came out by Kenner in 1995. Now, I was a huge fan of Gargoyles. The cartoon almost became like family viewing in my house if everyone was home in time to watch it. Yeah, I loved these action figures. I have a couple of them, and I did have more, but I don't know whatever happened to them. Now, it's weird. I mean, he has a battle action slash, but this other arm isn't posable like this. I thought that's kind of a fail. I love that he's up on the haunches, has his tail, and the wings can be flapped if you do this. Yeah, Hudson was one of my favorites. Here we go. I'm just realizing it now. He has a oh, look at that. Things that you forget after so many years. Squeeze his legs and he choppy, choppy, chop, chop. Take that Xanatos, chop, chop, chop. But, yeah. Had a few of the figures. Not many of them have survived in my collection. I only have 2 now, Hudson and Bronx. But, yeah, love this figure, love the character. It's just really good sculpting. I mean, yes, it's lacking in posability, but I mean, look at his face. There's so much attitude in that face. I mean, he definitely looks mad. Love the sword that it comes with. Yeah, yeah. See, I don't have to do it like that anymore. I can just squeeze, 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 squeeze. Anyway, yeah. Great figure. Love all the little features that it has. Wings, tail, choppy chop, chop action. Yeah, good figure. A lot of fun. Glad that I still have him in my collection. So, now to the fourth figure. Our fourth figure is the auto-morphing Tommy figure from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. This was in the second series of the auto-morphin toy line. This was released by Bandai in 1995. And this is definitely something I picked up much later at a yard sale. And you can see he has seen some better days. I mean, his logo has disappeared. He is very yellowed. Missing his blaster. Has some rusty screws. But before we get into the auto-morphing feature, I just want to point out these have great posability. Well, I shouldn't say that. They have great movement. I don't think you can do many good poses with them. But, I mean, yeah. But, yeah. Picked him up at a flea market, I believe. A whole bunch of them. We'll get to them another day. Some in a lot better condition. But this is Tommy, so I wanted to look at him first. Now, the auto-morphing feature is you push down on his belt here, and boom, he's got his helmet on. I mean, it's not a bad helmet sculpt. Definitely looks a lot better with this head than the Tommy head. Very, I mean, because of the feature, very barrel-chested. But, see, just swing it right back in and it's Tommy and... Uh-oh. Come on, Tommy, what's going on? There we go. Now White Ranger again. There we go. I mean, it's old. You expect a little hiccup now and again. But yeah, it really bums me out that he doesn't have the logo on his chest. But these paint applications on his gloves still look amazing. And here on his boots. Very weathered. You could tell whomever owned this before played with them in the tub. Or at least outside, that he got a lot of rusting. But you know what? I think it's great just the way it is. So, Tommy, you'll always be the best Ranger. Green, white, whatever. So, let's head on over to the fifth toy. Now, our fifth and final random 90s action figure is one from a scene from a comic book that actually left me speechless. At the time, I was not really prepared for what the original Sin City comic brought to the table. And the final moments of it left me just speechless, like I said. This toy is that exact moment when Marv, at the end of his bloody rampage, revenge, ends up on death row and is electrocuted. Now, aptly named Death Row Marv, this McFarlane toy was released in 1999. And I know it's not going to sound great because when you flip the switch, it vibrates like he's getting shocked. And then he laughs and says, "Is that all you got, you pansies?" Just like in the comic panel. I'll try to throw that up just so you can see it. So, forgive me with how horrible this sounds. I mean, his eyes light up red and everything. But this is a great display piece, honestly. I mean, it's something you can just put on the shelf. It's got some age and weather to it. Some like dust that needs to be really scraped off of there. Oops, sorry for that bad shot. But, I mean, we got these wires. They're still in great condition. I mean, the batteries that I just took out of it have probably been there for over 20 years. And they still worked, but I wanted to change them out, get them out of there. I mean, there's no real posability other than when he's shocked and his hands move. But yeah, I just wish that they could have balanced the vibration feature and the talking feature a little bit better, because with the amount of vibration, you can hardly hear them, and that's a bummer. But yeah, I have all the Sin City toys that McFarlane released in '99, which wasn't much. It was just 2 different Marvs, one black and white, one color, and then this one. But yeah, I was a Sin City nut. I still am. One of the best comic series I've ever read. But anyway, we are going to end it there and go back to me. Okay, folks, back to me. That was just a random grabbing of various 90s action figures from around the laundry room. Either they be on the shelves, in boxes, organized and put away and bagged up, what have you. Like I said, I was surprised to see how many I have accumulated over the years. And like I said, most of them are from flea markets, yard sales, what have you. I just saw them, they were a good deal. And I mean, even though I wasn't really into like the VR troopers and things like that of the world, I still had like nostalgia for it, because I mean, it's the 90s, it's the past, and I lived through it, and it still brings about different memories and just good times, bad times, what have you. Anyway, who knew a VR trooper figure could bring up such feelings? I'm going to leave it there, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you got something to say, please leave a comment. I love reading them, and I love getting back to everyone. And if you're new around here and you enjoyed this or any of the other episodes that YouTube is recommending down here, please hit subscribe. And if you hit that little bell icon, you will be notified whenever there's new episodes. So anyway, until next time, thanks for watching. Keep being rad, and stay dorky.